Welcome back to my channel LinkedIn Farmer. Today's video is based on the sound, chapter 10, class 8. Before starting this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Let's start it. Introduction to sound. Sound is a fascinating phenomenon that surrounds us in our everyday lives. It is a form of mechanical energy produced by vibrations that travel through various mediums, usually air. These vibrations create changes in air pressure, which our ears detect and our brain interprets as sound. Sound plays a crucial role in communication, music, entertainment, and understanding the world around us. Here are a few examples to illustrate the diversity and importance of sound. Birdsong. The melodic chirping of birds in the early morning is a natural example of sound. Different bird species produce unique calls and songs, often used for communication and mating purposes. Musical instruments, whether it's the resonant strumming of a guitar, the majestic notes of a piano, or the rhythmic beats of drums, musical instruments rely on the manipulation of sound to create beautiful melodies and harmonies. Speech and language. Human speech is a complex interplay of sounds that enable us to convey thoughts, emotions, and information. Each language has its own set of sounds, known as phonemes, that are combined to form words and sentences. Nature's symphony, the rustling of leaves in the wind, the crashing of waves on the shore, and the rumbling of thunder during a storm are all natural sounds that contribute to the symphony of the environment. Technology. Modern life is filled with sounds from technology, such as the ringing of a phone, the revving of a car engine, or the beeping of a microwave. These sounds are intentionally designed to alert and communicate with us. Echoes. When sound waves bounce off surfaces and return to our ears, they create echoes. These reverberations are used in various applications, from architectural acoustics to ultrasound imaging in medical diagnostics. Alarm signals. Sirens, horns, and alarms use distinct and often loud sounds to grab our attention and warn us of potential dangers or emergencies. Animal calls. From the roaring of a lion to the howling of a wolf, animals use sounds to communicate within their species, mark territory, and signal danger. Emotional impact. Sound can evoke powerful emotions. The suspenseful music in a thriller movie or the joyful laughter of a child can instantly create mood and atmosphere. In summary, sound is an integral part of our existence, enriching our experiences and providing a means of connection with the world and each other. Its varied forms and functions make it a captivating field of study and creative expression. Sound is produced by a vibrating body. Sound is created when a body vibrates, causing disturbances in the surrounding medium, typically air. These vibrations travel as waves, and when they reach our ears, they are interpreted by our brain as sound. Let's delve deeper into this concept with a few examples. String instruments. When you pluck a guitar string, it starts to vibrate rapidly. These vibrations are transmitted through the air as sound waves, which we hear as distinct musical notes. The different lengths and tensions of the strings produce varying frequencies, resulting in a range of pitches. Drums. When you strike a drum, the drumhead vibrates. These vibrations are transferred to the surrounding air, creating sound waves that we hear as the drum's characteristic tone. The size, tension, and material of the drumhead influence the sound produced. Vocal cords. Human speech is a result of the vibration of our vocal cords. As air from our lungs passes through the vocal cords, they rapidly vibrate, producing sound waves. The intricate manipulation of these vibrations by our tongue, lips, and mouth shapes the sound into recognizable speech sounds and words. Tuning fork. A tuning fork is a classic example of sound production through vibrations. When you strike a tuning fork against a surface, it starts to vibrate at a specific frequency. This vibration creates sound waves that travel through the air, producing a clear and consistent tone. Bells. Bells are another example of vibrating bodies generating sound. When a bell is struck, its metal body vibrates, causing the air around it to vibrate as well. The resulting sound is rich and resonant, with varying frequencies depending on the bell's size and shape. Vibrating membranes. Instruments like the tambourine or the kazoo produce sound through vibrating membranes. In a kazoo, for instance, the player's humming causes a membrane to vibrate, amplifying the sound and creating its distinctive buzzing tone. Sirens. Emergency sirens are designed to create sound by rapidly rotating a disc or fan with holes. This spinning motion causes air to move in a pulsatile manner, generating sound waves. By adjusting the speed of rotation, different siren tones can be produced. Cell phones. The vibration feature in cell phones is a practical application of sound through vibrations. When the phone vibrates, it rapidly moves back and forth, creating mechanical vibrations that we can feel and hear as a buzzing sound. In summary, the production of sound through vibrations is a fundamental concept in our understanding of how we perceive the auditory world. Whether through musical instruments, vocal cords, or everyday objects, the principle of vibrating bodies generating sound waves is a core element of our sensory experience. Certainly, here are some examples of musical instruments along with the parts that vibrate to produce sound. Violin. Vibrating part, strings. When the bow is drawn across the strings, they vibrate, producing sound. Piano. Vibrating part, strings. When a key is pressed, a hammer strikes the strings inside the piano, causing them to vibrate and generate sound. Flute. Vibrating part, air column. When air is blown across the edge of the flute's embouchure hole, the air column inside the flute vibrates, producing sound. Trumpet. Vibrating part, lips. The player's lips vibrate as air is blown through the trumpet's mouthpiece, generating sound. Drums. Vibrating part, drumheads. When struck with drumsticks or hands, the drumheads vibrate, producing sound. Guitar. Vibrating part, strings. Plucking or strumming the guitar strings causes them to vibrate, creating sound. Saxophone. Vibrating part, reed. When air is blown between the reed and the mouthpiece, the reed vibrates, generating sound. Clarinet. Vibrating part, reed. Similar to the saxophone, the clarinet's sound is produced by the vibration of its reed when air passes over it. Tambourine. Vibrating part, jingles. Shaking or hitting the tambourine causes the metal jingles on its rim to vibrate and create a jingling sound. Xylophone. Vibrating part, bass. Striking the bars of the xylophone with mallets causes them to vibrate and produce musical tones. Accordion. Vibrating part, reeds. Air pumped through the accordion causes metal reeds to vibrate, producing sound when they pass through tuned slots. Harp. Vibrating part, strings. Plucking the strings of a harp causes them to vibrate, generating melodic tones. These examples illustrate the diverse ways in which musical instruments use vibrating parts to create the beautiful and varied sounds that enrich our musical experiences. Sound produced by humans. Humans are capable of producing a wide range of sounds through the intricate workings of their vocal anatomy. The process involves the vibration of the vocal cords and manipulation of the resulting sound waves by various parts of the vocal tract. This allows us to communicate, express emotions, and create music. Here's a breakdown of how sound is produced by humans. Vocal cords vibration. The primary source of sound production in humans is the vibration of the vocal cords, also known as vocal folds. These are two folds of mucous membrane located in the larynx, or voice box. When we exhale, air from the lungs passes through the trachea and into the larynx. The air causes the vocal cords to come together, and as the air pressure builds up, the cords vibrate. Pitch and frequency. The pitch of the sound produced by vocal cords is determined by the frequency of their vibration. Faster vibrations result in higher pitched sounds, while slower vibrations produce lower pitched sounds. Articulation. Once the vocal cords vibrate and produce a basic sound, it is then shaped into recognizable speech sounds through the manipulation of the vocal tract. The tongue, lips, teeth, and palate are all used to alter the sound wave's resonance, creating distinct vowels and consonants. Resonance. The cavities of the mouth and throat, including the oral cavity and nasal passages, play a crucial role in sound resonance. By adjusting the shape and size of these cavities, we modify the way sound waves are amplified and shaped, contributing to the uniqueness of each individual's voice. Phonation in speech. When we modulate the vibration of the vocal cords while articulating sounds using our vocal tract, we produce speech. By combining various speech sounds in sequence, we create words, sentences, and meaningful communication. Singing. Singing involves a controlled manipulation of the vocal cords' vibration and the resonance of the vocal tract to produce melodies and harmonies. Singers can adjust their vocal technique to create a wide range of pitches, dynamics, and emotional qualities in their voices. Emotional expression. Humans can convey a range of emotions through the modulation of their voice. The pitch, volume, tempo, and tone of speech can all reflect feelings such as joy, sadness, anger, and excitement. Beatboxing and vocal effects. Some individuals possess the ability to create various sounds using their vocal apparatus, such as beatboxing or imitating non-human sounds. These skills involve creative manipulation of the vocal cords and vocal tract to mimic percussive beats, instruments, or even environmental noises. In summary, the human capacity to produce sound is a remarkable feat involving the coordination of the vocal cords, vocal tract, and articulatory muscles. This intricate process allows us to communicate, express ourselves, and engage in musical and creative endeavors. Certainly, here are examples to further illustrate how sound is produced by humans. Speech sounds. Vowels. The pronunciation of vowels like a, I, o, and u involves the manipulation of the shape of the oral cavity and the position of the tongue to create distinct resonances. Consonants. Consonant sounds such as p, t, s, and m are produced by blocking or narrowing the airflow using the lips, tongue, teeth, or palate, followed by a release that generates specific sound characteristics. Singing and music. Melodies. When singing a song, the vocal cords are controlled to produce a series of pitched sounds that form melodies. Harmonies. By combining different pitches produced by the vocal cords, singers can create harmonies that add depth and complexity to music. Falsetto. Singers can shift to their falsetto voice by stretching and thinning the vocal cords, producing higher pitched and lighter sounding notes. Emotional expression. Laughter. Different types of laughter, from a hearty chuckle to a soft giggle, involve variations in the vocal cords' vibration and the resonance of the vocal tract. Crying. Emotional distress can lead to sobbing or crying, where the vocal cords' vibrations may become irregular, and the tone of the voice changes to convey sadness. Whispering. Whispering is produced by gently passing air over the slightly apart vocal cords. The resulting sound is softer and less distinct than regular speech. Beatboxing and vocal effects. Beatboxing. Beatboxers use their mouths, lips, and vocal cords to imitate drum beats, rhythm patterns, and sound effects, creating a unique form of vocal percussion. Vocal imitations. Some individuals can imitate sounds like sirens, animals, or musical instruments using their vocal cords and articulatory skills. Voice changers. Puberty. During puberty, the vocal cords lengthen and thicken in males, causing the voice to deepen due to changes in the vibration frequency. Voice disorders. Conditions such as nodules or polyps on the vocal cords can disrupt their vibration and lead to hoarseness or other voice abnormalities. Talking through a fan. Speaking through a spinning fan or a rotating cardboard tube changes the airflow dynamics, resulting in a distorted, robotic-like sound due to the interference with the vocal sound waves. Whistling. Whistling involves controlling the airflow through pursed lips to create a high-pitched sound. The shape of the oral cavity affects the pitch and quality of the whistle. These examples highlight the versatility of the human vocal apparatus and its ability to generate a wide array of sounds for communication, artistic expression, and emotional conveyance. Sound needs a medium for propagation. Sound is a form of energy that travels through a medium, typically air, but it can also travel through other materials like water or solids. A medium is necessary for sound to propagate because it allows the mechanical vibrations that create sound waves to travel from their source to our ears. Here's an explanation of this principle. Medium is a carrier. When an object vibrates, it creates waves of pressure changes in the surrounding medium. In the case of air, these pressure waves are also known as sound waves. These waves consist of compressions, areas of higher pressure, and rarefactions, areas of lower pressure. Air is a common medium. In most everyday situations, sound travels through the air. For example, when you speak or clap your hands, the vibrations from those actions create sound waves that move through the air to your ears or to other people's ears. Propagation process. As the sound waves travel through the medium, they cause adjacent particles of the medium to vibrate in a chain reaction. This transfer of energy from particle to particle allows the sound to propagate outward from the source. Speed of sound. The speed of sound depends on the characteristics of the medium. In general, sound travels faster through denser materials like water or solids compared to air. For instance, sound travels about 4 times faster in water than in air. Absence of medium. In the vacuum of outer space, there is no air or any other matter to serve as a medium for sound to travel through. Therefore, sound cannot propagate in space as it does on Earth. Underwater sound. Sound travels particularly well through water due to its higher density compared to air. Marine animals like whales and dolphins use underwater sound for communication and echolocation. Solid objects. Sound can also travel through solid objects. For example, you can hear someone knocking on a door even if you can't see them, because the sound waves produced by the knocking travel through the door and into the air on the other side. In summary, sound requires a medium for its propagation because it relies on the transfer of mechanical vibrations through particles of the medium. This understanding of sound propagation is fundamental to our perception of the auditory world and the way we communicate and interact with our environment. We hear sound through our ears. Our ability to hear sound is a remarkable process that involves the intricate workings of our ears and our brain. The journey of sound begins with vibrations in the air, which are then transformed into the auditory sensations we perceive. Here's an explanation of how we hear sound through our ears. Sound waves in the air. Sound is initially produced by a vibrating source, such as a musical instrument, a voice, or any other object in motion. These vibrations create changes in air pressure, which result in sound waves propagating through the surrounding air. Ear anatomy. Outer ear. The sound waves first reach the outer ear, which consists of the visible part of the ear, the pinna, and the ear canal, auditory canal. Middle ear. The sound waves travel down the ear canal and reach the eardrum, tympanic membrane, in the middle ear. The eardrum vibrates in response to the incoming sound waves. Amplification in the middle ear. The vibrations of the eardrum are then transmitted to 3 tiny bones in the middle ear: the malleus, hammer, incus, anvil, and stapes, stirrup. These bones form a chain that amplifies the vibrations, effectively transforming the relatively large movements of the eardrum into smaller, more forceful movements at the oval window. Oval window in cochlea. The stapes bone connects to the oval window, a membrane-covered opening in the cochlea, which is a spiral-shaped, fluid-filled structure in the inner ear. When the oval window vibrates due to the movements of the middle ear bones, it sets the fluid within the cochlea into motion. Hair cells and auditory nerve. Inside the cochlea, there are specialized cells called hair cells. These cells are equipped with tiny hair-like projections that are crucial for detecting vibrations in the fluid. The movement of the fluid in the cochlea causes the hair cells to bend. This bending triggers the release of chemical signals that stimulate the auditory nerve fibers connected to the hair cells. Transmission to the brain. The auditory nerve carries the electrical signals generated by the hair cells to the brainstem and then to the auditory cortex in the brain's temporal lobe. The brain processes these signals and interprets them as the sounds we recognize and perceive. Sound perception. Different frequencies, pitch, and amplitudes, loudness, of sound waves cause different hair cells to be activated, leading to the perception of a wide range of auditory experiences. In summary, the process of hearing involves a sophisticated interplay between the outer, middle, and inner ear structures, as well as the brain. Our ears serve as intricate instruments that transform the physical vibrations of sound waves into the rich auditory experiences that shape our understanding of the world around us. Amplitude, time period, and frequency of a vibration. Amplitude. time period, and frequency are fundamental concepts that describe the characteristics of a vibration, whether it's a sound wave, a pendulum swing, or any repetitive motion. Understanding these terms helps us quantify and analyze various types of oscillations. Here's an explanation of each. Amplitude. Amplitude refers to the maximum displacement or distance that a vibrating object or wave moves from its equilibrium or rest position. In simpler terms, it represents how big the vibration or wave is. For a sound wave, the amplitude corresponds to the loudness of the sound. In a pendulum swing, the amplitude is the farthest point the pendulum reaches on either side from its central resting position. Time period. The time period of a vibration is the duration it takes for one complete cycle to occur. A cycle is a full oscillation, starting from a particular point, reaching the highest point, returning to the starting point, and then reaching the lowest point before returning again. Time period is usually denoted by the symbol T. It is measured in seconds. Frequency. Frequency is the number of complete cycles of a vibration that occur in 1 second. It is the inverse of the time period. Frequency is often denoted by the symbol F and is measured in Hz. 1 Hz is equivalent to 1 cycle per second. Relationship between time period and frequency. In practical terms, imagine a swinging pendulum. The amplitude would be the farthest point the pendulum reaches on its swing. The time period would be the time it takes for the pendulum to complete one full swing back and forth. The frequency would be how many complete swings the pendulum makes in 1 second. For sound waves, the amplitude corresponds to how loud the sound is, the time period relates to the duration of one full sound wave cycle, and the frequency determines how high or low the pitch of the sound is. High-frequency sounds have more cycles per second and are perceived as higher pitched, while low-frequency sounds have fewer cycles per second and are perceived as lower pitched. Understanding amplitude, time period, and frequency helps us analyze and compare different types of vibrations, from simple harmonic motions to complex sound waves, and provides valuable insights into the characteristics of these phenomena. Loudness and pitch. Loudness and pitch are two fundamental characteristics of sound that play a crucial role in how we perceive and differentiate various sounds. They are closely related to the physical properties of sound waves and how our auditory system processes them. Loudness. Loudness refers to the subjective perception of the intensity or amplitude of a sound. It is how soft or loud a sound seems to our ears. Loudness is directly related to the amplitude of the sound wave. A larger amplitude corresponds to a louder sound. However, our perception of loudness is not a simple linear relationship with amplitude, it follows a logarithmic scale. Factors influencing loudness perception. Amplitude of the sound wave. A larger amplitude leads to a more intense sound and is perceived as louder. Distance from the sound source. Sound intensity decreases with distance, leading to a decrease in perceived loudness. Frequency content. Sounds with certain frequency ranges might appear louder than others even at the same amplitude. Pitch. Pitch is the subjective perception of the frequency of a sound wave. It determines whether a sound is perceived as high or low. High-pitched sounds have high frequencies, meaning they have a rapid oscillation of the sound wave, while low-pitched sounds have low frequencies, corresponding to a slower oscillation. Factors influencing pitch perception. Frequency of the sound wave. Higher frequencies result in higher-pitched sounds, and lower frequencies result in lower-pitched sounds. Harmonics. Complex sounds, like musical instruments or human voices, often consist of a fundamental frequency, the perceived pitch, and harmonics, whole number multiples of the fundamental frequency. The presence and strength of harmonics affect how we perceive the overall pitch of the sound. Distinguishing between loudness and pitch. While both loudness and pitch relate to the physical properties of sound waves, they are distinct perceptual qualities. Loudness pertains to the intensity or energy of the sound wave, determining how soft or loud a sound is perceived. Pitch relates to the frequency of the sound wave, determining whether a sound is high or low in tone. In summary, loudness and pitch are essential attributes of sound that influence how we interpret and differentiate the auditory world around us. Our perception of these qualities is a result of intricate interactions between the physical properties of sound waves and the workings of our auditory system. Audible and inaudible sounds. Sounds can be categorized into two main groups, audible sounds and inaudible sounds. These terms describe whether we can hear a particular sound based on its frequency range and intensity. Audible sounds. Audible sounds are those that fall within the range of frequencies that the human ear can detect. The typical range of audible frequencies for humans is roughly 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz, 20 kHz. Within this range, different frequencies correspond to different pitches, allowing us to perceive a wide variety of sounds, from the low rumble of thunder to the high notes of a flute. Examples of audible sounds: spoken language and conversations, music from various instruments, animal calls and bird songs, traffic noise, sirens, and everyday sounds. Inaudible sounds. Inaudible sounds, as the name suggests, are sounds that fall outside the range of human hearing. These sounds have frequencies either too low or too high for us to perceive directly. Inaudible sounds can still have significant effects and applications, even if we can't hear them directly. Examples of inaudible sounds: infrasound, sounds with frequencies below the audible range, typically below 20 Hz. Animals like elephants and whales use infrasound for communication over long distances. Ultrasound, sounds with frequencies above the audible range, typically above 20 kHz. Ultrasound waves are used in medical imaging, ultrasound scans, and even for cleaning delicate objects. Dogs' whistles. Some dog whistles produce ultrasonic frequencies that dogs can hear but are beyond human hearing. Electronic devices. Devices like ultrasonic pest repellents use inaudible frequencies to deter pests. Electronic signals. Devices such as remote controls or electronic communication devices may emit high-frequency signals that we can't hear. In summary, audible sounds are those within the range of human hearing, spanning from low-frequency rumbles to high-frequency tones. Inaudible sounds fall outside this range and include infrasound and ultrasound, which have various applications beyond our ability to directly perceive them. Noise and music. Noise and music are both forms of sound, but they have distinct characteristics and are perceived differently by our auditory system. These terms describe categories of sound that vary in terms of organization, structure, and the impact they have on our perception and emotions. Noise. Noise refers to a random, irregular, or disorganized mixture of sound waves. It lacks a specific pattern or harmonic structure and often contains a range of frequencies. Noise is often considered to be unpleasant or disruptive, as it can be perceived as chaotic and lacking a clear purpose. Examples of noise: traffic noise, white noise, a mixture of all audible frequencies at equal intensity. Background chatter, industrial machinery sounds. Music. Music is a structured arrangement of sound elements that are intentionally organized to create a pleasing and meaningful auditory experience. It involves specific patterns of pitch, rhythm, melody, harmony, and dynamics. Music is typically designed to convey emotions, tell stories, or evoke specific feelings. Characteristics of music. Melody, a sequence of musical notes that form a recognizable tune. Rhythm, the pattern of beats and pauses that give music its tempo and groove. Harmony, the combination of different musical notes played or sung simultaneously to create chords and harmonious progressions. Dynamics, the variations in loudness and intensity within a musical composition. Structure, music often follows a defined structure, with verses, choruses, bridges, and other sections. Comparing noise and music. Organization. Noise lacks the organized structure found in music. Music is intentionally composed with elements that fit together harmoniously. Emotional impact. Music is often designed to evoke emotions and can have a positive, soothing, or energizing effect. Noise, on the other hand, can be irritating or distracting. Purpose. Music is created for artistic expression, entertainment, and communication. Noise might result from unintended sources or background interference. Patterns. Music follows recognizable patterns and repetitions, contributing to its memorability and appeal. Noise lacks these deliberate patterns. In some contexts, the boundary between noise and music can be subjective. For example, experimental music genres incorporate unconventional sounds that may border on noise. Additionally, the perception of noise and music can vary from person to person, depending on cultural and personal preferences. In summary, noise is characterized by its lack of organization and often unpleasant nature, while music is structured, intentional, and designed to convey emotions and meaning. Both noise and music play roles in our auditory experiences and have various impacts on our perception and emotions. Noise pollution. Noise pollution refers to the excessive, unwanted, or disruptive sound that interferes with normal activities, causing discomfort, annoyance, or even harm to people and the environment. It is a form of environmental pollution that can have adverse effects on physical and mental health, as well as on the overall quality of life. Sources of noise pollution. Transportation. Road traffic, airplanes, trains, and ships produce significant noise pollution, especially in urban areas. Construction and industrial activities. Construction machinery, factories, and industrial processes generate high levels of noise. Recreational activities. Loud music from clubs, parties, and events can contribute to noise pollution, particularly at night. Public address systems. Overuse of public address systems and loudspeakers can lead to noise pollution in public spaces. Commercial establishments, restaurants, shops, and entertainment venues with high noise levels can disturb the surrounding environment. Urbanization. Densely populated urban areas often experience higher levels of noise pollution due to increased human activity. Effects of noise pollution. Health impacts. Prolonged exposure to high levels of noise can lead to stress, sleep disturbances, hearing impairment, and even cardiovascular problems. Cognitive effects. Noise pollution can impair concentration, memory, and cognitive performance, especially in children. Communication interference. Noise pollution can hinder effective communication, leading to misunderstandings and reduced quality of interpersonal interactions. Environmental damage. Noise pollution can disrupt ecosystems, affecting wildlife behavior, nesting patterns, and predator-prey relationships. Economic impact. Noise pollution can decrease property values in affected areas, affecting real estate markets and overall economic development. Prevention and mitigation of noise pollution. Regulations and zoning. Government regulations and zoning laws can control noise levels in different areas, limiting noisy activities in residential zones. Soundproofing. Buildings and structures can be designed with soundproofing materials to reduce the transmission of noise. Public awareness. Educating the public about the impact of noise pollution and promoting responsible noise behavior can help reduce its effects. Urban planning. Designing cities with noise barriers, green spaces, and buffer zones between noisy and quiet areas can help manage noise pollution. Technological solutions. Quieter transportation options, quieter industrial machinery, and noise-reducing technologies can contribute to noise reduction. In conclusion, noise pollution is a significant environmental concern that affects both human well-being and the ecosystem. Addressing noise pollution requires a combination of regulations, public awareness, technological advancements, and urban planning strategies to create a quieter and healthier living environment. What are the harms of noise pollution? Noise pollution can have wide-ranging negative effects on individuals, communities, and the environment. Its pervasive presence and potential to disrupt various aspects of life make it a significant concern for public health and well-being. Here are some of the harms of noise pollution. Health impacts. Hearing loss. Prolonged exposure to loud noise can lead to permanent hearing loss or impaired hearing. Sleep disturbances. Noise pollution can disrupt sleep patterns, leading to insomnia and reduced overall sleep quality. Stress and anxiety. Continuous exposure to high noise levels can cause chronic stress, anxiety, and even contribute to mental health issues. Cardiovascular effects. Noise pollution has been linked to increased blood pressure, heart rate, and risk of cardiovascular diseases. Cognitive and learning effects. Reduced concentration. Noise pollution can impair concentration and cognitive performance, particularly in educational settings. Impact on learning. Students exposed to high noise levels may experience difficulty in understanding lessons and retaining information. Communication disruption. Communication challenges. Noise pollution interferes with effective communication, leading to misunderstandings and decreased quality of conversations. Quality of life. Annoyance and discomfort. Persistent noise pollution can cause annoyance, frustration, and decreased overall quality of life. Social isolation. Individuals may avoid spending time outdoors or interacting with others due to excessive noise. Environmental impact. Disruption of ecosystems. Noise pollution can disrupt wildlife behavior, nesting patterns, and predator-prey relationships, affecting ecosystem balance. Migration disturbance. Noisy environments can interfere with migration patterns of birds and other animals. Economic consequences. Property value reduction. Areas with high noise pollution often experience decreased property values, impacting real estate markets. Healthcare costs. Health issues arising from noise pollution can lead to increased healthcare costs. Safety risks. Emergency alert interference. Excessive noise can mask important emergency alerts, potentially delaying or hindering response to critical situations. Development of noise-induced conditions. Tinnitus. Prolonged exposure to loud noise can cause tinnitus, a ringing or buzzing sensation in the ears. Hyperacusis. Noise pollution can contribute to the development of hyperacusis, where individuals become overly sensitive to normal sounds. Addressing noise pollution requires concerted efforts from individuals, communities, and governments to implement regulations, promote awareness, and adopt noise-reducing measures. By recognizing and mitigating the harms of noise pollution, we can create healthier and more livable environments for everyone. Measures to limit noise pollution. Reducing noise pollution requires a combination of individual efforts, community initiatives, and government regulations. By taking proactive steps to manage and minimize noise levels, we can create quieter and more harmonious living environments. Here are some effective measures to limit noise pollution. Individual and community actions. Use quieter appliances and tools. Opt for quieter appliances, such as dishwashers, washing machines, and vacuum cleaners. Choose quieter power tools and equipment for home improvement projects. Limit noisy activities during quiet hours. Avoid engaging in noisy activities, such as construction or loud music, during early morning, late evening, and nighttime hours. Use headphones and earbuds responsibly. When listening to music or watching videos using headphones or earbuds, be mindful of the volume to prevent noise leakage. Respect noise guidelines in residential areas. Follow local noise ordinances and guidelines that specify acceptable noise levels in residential areas. Maintain vehicles and equipment. Regularly maintain vehicles to minimize loud engine noises and ensure proper muffler function. Keep lawn equipment well maintained to reduce noise from mowers, leaf blowers, and trimmers. Plant greenery and use natural barriers. Plant trees, shrubs, and bushes as natural sound barriers around your property to absorb and block noise. Promote noise awareness in schools and workplaces. Educate students and employees about the importance of maintaining quieter environments to enhance concentration and productivity. Community and urban planning. Zoning regulations. Implement and enforce zoning regulations that separate noisy industrial or commercial activities from residential areas. Quiet zones and buffer areas. Designate quiet zones in areas where noise reduction is a priority, such as near hospitals, schools, and residential neighborhoods. Noise barriers. Construct physical noise barriers, such as walls or fences, to shield communities from noisy roads, railways, or industrial zones. Green spaces. Develop parks, green spaces, and pedestrian areas that provide a buffer against noise and create peaceful environments. Government and policy interventions. Enforce noise ordinances. Establish and enforce strict noise ordinances that specify acceptable noise levels during different times of the day. Implement noise limits for vehicles. Enforce regulations that require vehicles, including motorcycles and trucks, to meet specific noise emission standards. Regulate construction and industrial activities. Set guidelines for construction and industrial activities to limit noisy operations during nighttime and early morning hours. Public awareness campaigns. Launch public campaigns to educate residents about the effects of noise pollution and encourage responsible behavior. Incentives for noise reduction technologies. Offer incentives or tax breaks to businesses and industries that adopt noise reduction technologies and practices. By combining individual efforts, community initiatives, and government policies, we can work towards minimizing noise pollution and creating healthier, more livable environments for everyone. Hearing impairment. Hearing impairment, also known as hearing loss, refers to the partial or complete inability to hear sounds in one or both ears. It can range from mild to profound and can affect people of all ages. Hearing impairment can have significant impacts on communication, social interactions, and overall quality of life. Types of hearing impairment. Conductive hearing loss. This type of hearing loss occurs when sound waves cannot effectively travel through the outer or middle ear to reach the inner ear. Causes may include ear infections, earwax buildup, fluid accumulation in the middle ear, or structural abnormalities. Sensorineural hearing loss. Sensorineural hearing loss results from damage to the delicate hair cells in the inner ear, cochlea, or to the auditory nerve. It can be caused by aging, exposure to loud noise, certain medications, genetic factors, and medical conditions. Mixed hearing loss. Mixed hearing loss is a combination of conductive and sensorineural hearing loss, often involving problems in both the outer, middle ear and inner ear nerves. Effects of hearing impairment. Communication challenges. Individuals with hearing impairment may struggle to understand conversations, especially in noisy environments. Misunderstandings can lead to frustration, isolation, and reduced participation in social activities. Educational and professional impact. Children with hearing impairment may experience difficulties in learning and academic performance. Adults with hearing impairment may face challenges in the workplace, affecting job performance and opportunities. Psychological and emotional impact. Hearing impairment can lead to feelings of anxiety, depression, and social withdrawal due to communication difficulties. Safety concerns. People with hearing impairment may have trouble hearing alarms, sirens, and other warning signals, posing safety risks. Relationship strain. Hearing impairment can strain relationships with family and friends, as effective communication becomes more challenging. Prevention and management. Protective measures. Use ear protection, such as earmuffs or earplugs, in loud environments to prevent noise-induced hearing loss. Regular hearing screenings. Undergo regular hearing assessments, especially if exposed to loud noise or experiencing signs of hearing loss. Audiological rehabilitation. Hearing aids and cochlear implants can help individuals with hearing impairment improve their hearing and communication abilities. Communication strategies. Employ techniques such as lip reading, sign language, and clear speech to facilitate effective communication. Educational support. Provide educational accommodations and resources for students with hearing impairment to ensure equal access to learning. Psychosocial support. Seek counseling and support groups to address the emotional and psychological challenges associated with hearing impairment. In conclusion, hearing impairment can have significant physical, emotional, and social implications. Timely intervention, adaptive strategies, and advancements in hearing technology can help individuals with hearing impairment overcome challenges and lead fulfilling lives. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.